discuss. Okay, now we can discuss on FB day process. Can anyone explain the FB day process?
Yeah, Vijay,
To do the FB day, first we need to find out the process name and respective file, exact file name. I didn't remember. We need to file that Excel template, and in the Excel template we need to fill the data we need to upload using the load interface file import program. So in order to place the data into the template, first we need to do one manual transaction from the cloud application, and we need to place the same data in the template.
Okay. What are the parameters have for first ESA job?
Sorry?
What are the parameters we do have for first ESA job?
Process name and file name.
Okay. How will you get the process name?
In the OER, we need to do.
Okay. Can anyone explain any one of the FB day process which you have been worked in your experience?
Yes, Vijay, one of the FPDI process that we have worked is the import journals, to import journal in bulk. And through that OER process, we have to find the template and prepare the data file. There is only one data sheet that needs to be populated. That is, one table will get populated. And once we prepare the file, there is a macro in that Excel that will generate the zip file. And we have to run the ESS job, load interface file for import.
Yep.
There are two parameters, process name. For process name, we'll have to provide import journals.
Yep.
And the second parameter is the file name, where we have to upload the zip file.
Great. Yeah.
And this process will trigger child ESS jobs. The transfer file will transfer the file into the UCM. And then from there, load file to interface program will, with the help of SQL loader, load it into the GL interface table.
Yeah, great, excellent. And what about the negative scenario? How about it will insert the data, or how it will reject the data? You know, if something is wrong with our data failure, out of 100, for example, I have 100 records. There are 20 records with issues. So how 80 records will be inserted? How the 20 records will be rejected? How it will behave for negative scenario, the load interface file for import?
It never accepts partial import.
Yep, great.
So we have to fix the file, get a new zip file, and rerun the program.
Excellent, great, Rahim. Thank you very much. Okay. And now the data in your interface table, the load interface file for import never accept the partial import. So all the data would be rollback status, and you may find the records in Discord file, okay, or the log file. And let's assume all the data in interface table. It's time to import, a main import process. So how exactly works for main import process for the journals? Anyone, please? How the main import process will work for journals?
We have to run the standard ESS job.
Import journals.
Okay. What are the parameters you have for that?
It
Yeah.
has standard
ID.
parameters.
Yes.
Interface group ID and data access set.
Mm-hmm.
Few more other are there.
Any others? Exactly. What are the parameters we do have for import journals?
Yeah, it will have the data set access ID and the source,
Mm-hmm.
import source journal names, and then it will have that group ID parameters.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Okay. So how the data will be import? All the data will import to the base table at a time, or what are the mechanism? The import journals
It
data
will
will.
import category general import category wise only, because
No, it would be source wise, right? Not the
yeah,
category.
yeah.
This is the most important question. The interviewer will ask how the data will goes to the base tables, which is the import journals. You need to say source wise. Whenever you enter data access set name, which is a ledger name for the parameter, and when you select the source name, it will verify in this combination if the data is available in interface table, the further parameters will be populated, which are ledger name and the group ID. Am I correct? Okay, you need to provide the answer like this always. The source wise will try to import the data into base tables. If any errors are there, the source wise data will not be imported as a partial. The source wise data. All the source data will be rolled back. So again, you need to reprocess the data for a source file. Before reprocessing, you need to submit purge interface table to clean the interface table and perform the same iteration. And for the reprocess, for the import journals, only reprocess which are failure sources only. Do not import again success sources. It will create duplicate journals with a zero amount plus and minus. So when client will perform the reconciliation, the moment they will identify, you are done with a mistake. The moment you need to delete all the batches, which is a manually from UI. Okay, very careful when you're working with import journals. And this is a common everyday process you will get from any client. Can anyone let me know what are the major columns we do have in everyday journal, everyday process? Major columns.
Ledger, source, category, group ID, amount credited, amount debited, currency code.
And the most important one?
Group ID, source, category.
Yeah, those are right. One more important thing, right? We do have for journals.
Ledger name or ledger ID, data access.
Yeah, those are correct, Prashant. Whichever you said,
Code,
along with that,
code
exactly,
combination, segment
exactly.
1,
Code
segment 2.
combinations, segments.
Yeah, yes, yes.
Okay, that is also most important. So you need to, provide all these. So whenever interviewer asks the everyday process, here we do not have any coding, right? For everyday process. You need to provide the complete A to Z everyday process, whichever you have been worked, starting to ending, which is the positive scenario, which is the negative scenario. The way you need to provide the script. You need to write or you need to ready with script with you, which is the positive scenarios, which is the negative scenarios. What are the issues they have been faced, how you are fixed, how you are finding the logs, and you need to provide a couple of error names as well. Something EM03 invalid category, something EF06 segment values are does not exist. They will ask the question like, you are running an import journals, but there are cross validation rules are enabled in the application for specific code combinations. So how will you perform the import journals? Okay, the moment what you said, yeah, exactly. In my experience, I have faced this issue. I have taken approval from the client and disabled the cross validation rule and submitted the import journals. Whenever the process was successfully completed, again enable the cross-validation rule. This is I have done in my experience. Okay. So this is about FBDA process, and also what are the complex FBDA processes have been worked in our experience. They will ask the question like this. Obviously, you need to tell customer import. So customer import as I have TCA architecture, around 18 tables are there. So almost I have been worked for 7 tables, parties, party side, so on so. So how the data will be interrelated from one sheet to another sheet? Anyone please? For the customer import. How the data will be interrelated from parties to party sites to locations, and parties to accounts, and so on so. How the data would be interrelated?
It would be interrelated with the field batch identifier.
Okay. Batch identifier nothing but in order to identify the data in your interface table for each sheet. Apart from that, no one remember? Something reference columns we do have, right? If you take an example, party system reference.
Yeah. The party's original reference number.
Sorry.
Party's original reference number.
Yeah, that is the original reference number. There are 2 columns are there. If you remember, one of them we have populated one of the values CSV, one of the value we have populated unique value, right? Those 2 are nothing but your interrelated columns from one sheet to another sheet. Same as your join conditions, parties to locations, parties to party sites, linking party ID to party ID, location ID to location ID, like that. Okay. And how will you submit the main import process for your customer import? What is the import name? What is the import name for customer import process? It would be import bulk customers. Okay. So how will you generate a batch identifier? How will you generate a batch identifier? You need to navigate the receivables application and navigate to the billing, navigate to the data import, select the manage data import task, and there you need to create a batch. Whenever you submit the batch with that batch identifier, from the manage data import screen, you will find all the statistics. Hope you remember. Guys?
Yes, Vijay.
Okay. So you need to provide all these steps. Okay. So this is about FBDA process. And so what are the limitation of data you will get? What is the volume of data you will get is nothing but, the CSV will accept more than, around 65,000 records. Okay. If it is exceeds 65,000 records, obviously we will copy paste the data into our text format. Whichever .csv file data is there, simply you can copy paste into .text format. The file name would be same. The text will accept whichever data is there. The high volume of data you can process by using text file, and you may zip the same. Okay. Okay, move on to OIC.
One second, Vijay. Instead of that Excel sheet, we can also load the data by using text file, you are saying?
Not the Excel, .csv. When you generate CSV file, it will create a zip folder along with the .csv file, right?
Yes, yes.
Instead of .csv, you may use .text.
Okay.
Okay.
Inside that zip folder.
Yes, exactly. The whichever .csv file name is there, you can maintain the same file name for .text and copy paste the data into text file if you have high volume of data.
Okay.
If you have lakhs of records, obviously you can go for the text processing. Okay. So OIC, how will you test a web service standalone?
Yeah, if it is a SOAP web service, we will test it in a SOAP UI, and if it is a REST service, we will test it in a Postman.
Okay, the purpose of testing standalone?
So as to, we need to identify all the parameters which are required to generate the transactions.
Okay, you do not use the parameter, it should be input payload.
Input
Okay.
payload. Sorry.
Always need to use the technical terms, especially OIC. So it should be input payload. In order to find the input payload, first you need to test that test transaction by using standalone. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Can give you some web service names, whichever you have been used in your experience. Web service names. No one?
ERP integration web service, submit ESS job, get.
Others? We have used journal import service for import journals. Sorry, yes, journal import service for, in order to push the data interface tables. And from the journal import service, the operation I have used something import journals. And followed by what is the response we will get for this result something 0. So the data in your interface table. And we have used ERP integration web service. Here I have used submit ESA job request, get ESA job status, and download export output. These have been used, especially ERP integration web services deal with our ESA jobs. So what are the ESA jobs you have been submitted through ERP integration web service submit ESA job request? Nothing but import journals. So will you submit a ESA job for import journals? Navigate to setup and maintenance, manage enterprise scheduler for financials, and find the journal import details like package name and the path, something journal import launcher, and something so on so Oracle apps so on so path related to this journal import launcher, followed by the parameters. So what are the parameters you have? Data access set ID, ledger ID, group data access set ID, assets, sorry, source, ledger ID, group ID, and followed by default parameters. And when you submit this, you will get a request as a response. The way you need to explain the same so that interview will get you have an experience. Okay, do not say ERP integration submit ESA job. Okay. And what is the get ESA job status? Whichever request ID is there, I will pass as the input mapper. And when I submit when I send a request to the server, I will get a response of the ESA job status, whether it is success, error, or warning, or running. So what is the download export output? Or they will ask, how will you download your ESA job logs? So again, submit ERP integration service. I am selected the operation download export output. It will download the attachment followed by input request ID mapper. Okay. This is, can you give a couple of REST APIs, whichever you have been used? Also for web service, I have used an external report web service for reporting purpose. So in that I have used run report method. So they will ask the payload very clearly for run report. It should be report absolute path and say job data chunk download -1. Immediately they will ask what is the significance of -1. Why I don't give 100? Why I don't give 1? So -1 will give all the result set, and whichever number you have hardcode rest of the same values, it will give as a result set, and followed by parameter names. If we have n number of parameters, we need to repeat the code for n number of times. Okay. So can you give some REST APIs?
One of the REST APIs that we have used is the all standard receipts. And in that REST API, we can call for specific receipt number by passing the receipt ID, or we can use query parameter.
Can
And
you give the syntax of query parameter?
Syntax is Q equal
It's a
receipt
question mark.
number.
It's a question mark, Q
Question mark.
equal followed by element
The-
or attribute name followed by value.
Correct. Yep.
And what can you give someone the statuses of REST APIs or web service? The statuses. We will get the statuses right for each execution.
Yes. 200 means
200.
that it's success.
Yeah, 200 okay for success response.
401 unauthorized.
Or not for unauthorized.
500 internal server error.
500 internal server. And
404 no data found.
Yes, 404 no not found. Okay, so these you need to remember. So we have used the standard receipt web service and we have performed the get operation, get all operation, and something create nothing with the post operation, and something we have performed some patch operation in order to update the data using patch. Okay. Can anyone explain web service integration, whichever you have been worked, web service integration? From starting to ending onwards. Let's assume I'm sending a file to you, which is journal data in a .csv format. So I want to push this data to my Oracle application through web service. Your approach, please. At least high level.
Yeah, Vijay, we will first of all define FTP connectors so that we can retrieve that files from the FTP locations.
Okay.
We will use that FTP adapter to invoke that file. We will first of all download that first of all we will list all the files.
Okay.
Files we will apply a for loop for all the files which were listed in the previous operation. Each files we will download that file, and we will use after downloading that file we will use the REST APIs and map the data retrieved from the files. For that, we will use that download file. We will use the XML XSD data set, which will define the structure of the data which will be available in the files. And then after that we will call the REST APIs which are from the source system.
REST API.
REST APIs.
You have the REST API for your experience. You're saying, I'm saying this is journal import, right?
Okay, journal import, we will use the SOAP APIs.
Yep.
And after that, checking it with the all the result sets. If it is a positive scenario, then we will use the journal import by using that submit ESS job SOAP web services.
Okay. Thanks, Hemant. Great. Okay, at least we have tried. Kudos, no issues. Okay, so I will explain the process once again. Okay, we'll get a file from the client in CSV, and we are receiving the data, which is the whichever is required, the data like period, debit, credit, and journal entry line description, and something what we are getting, accounting date, something. These are a couple of fields we are getting from the client in a CSV file. The rest of the columns, my functional team is suggested to hardcode the values like the journal category, journal source, and ledger name, and the currency code. And by using accounting date, I need to derive the period. For that, I have used the JavaScript function. So that this JavaScript function does have an input parameter. So whenever I pass the date, it will return the period. Okay. So this is the requirement we do have. So all these values I have hard-coded, whichever hard-coded values are there, those are hard-coded values I have maintained in a lookup. So I'm ready with integration development. So I have created a schedule orchestration since I'm receiving the file every 24 hours or every Monday. So for the reason I have choose the schedule based orchestration, and first I have created the FTP connection by using FTP adapter, and within the using this connection and the list files, I have first selected list files. So the list files give a response as how many files are there in the file count. For that response, I have created a for loop to download a file into OIC temporary buffer area, and using a stage file reading the data by using schema file same as flat file structure. Now our data is ready with us with an XML format in the read file response. Now I have used this journal import web service. So how will you use the journal import web service? By using Oracle ERP Cloud Adapter connection. Selected the first option, query create update, so that we will get all the web service and REST APIs. There I have selected the web service, and there I have selected import journals, nothing but journal import service. So when I select the journal import service, it will provide all the operations. Among operations, I have selected import journals. So when I click on OK, it will create a request mapper. So already I have all the input payload my SOAP UI tool for one of the transaction. Just provided the mappings whichever I have required. So whenever it is successfully executed, okay, it will give a response as a 0. If the response is 0, so I'm submitting the main import process. For the main import process, I need the data access it ID and the ledger ID. So for that, I have used a BIP report in order to get these two values. Again, in order to use the BIP report, I used external report web service and selected the run operation method and mapped the whichever is required the column I have mapped. Okay, and it write the data into it will return the response in a bytes format, report bytes. By using opaque.xsd, I will write the data into XML file and decode the data and read the data into same as XML file structure and map this data access set ID and ledger ID to my submit ESH job request mapper and map the group ID and map our source name. So I will get a group ID. Group ID is nothing but there is a standard function get flow ID is there. I have a map to assign to one of variable group ID. This variable map to again group ID mapper. Once it is successfully executed, it will return a response, which is a request ID, nothing but the process ID of ESH job. For that, I have used, in order to get the status of that ESH job, used to get ESH job operation for again, ERP Cloud Adapter and map the request ID. So it will return the status. So in order to get the complete status, I have used this get ESH job status in a while loop. So I have verified the condition whether it is succeeded or error or warning. If any status will get our while loop gets terminated, and verifying the same, if my status is succeeded, I'm sending the email notification the process was successfully completed. In the negative scenario, if it is not succeeded, again invoking Oracle ERP Cloud Adapter connection and selecting this download export output from ERP integration web service and provided the input request mapper as the request ID. So that I will response I will get is an attachment. I have added this attachment to the email notification. In the email notification in the body, I have used as per client requirement HTML coding, which is in table format. So I have passed some loaded file name and something, import request ID. These import request ID, I will get it from the notification parameter. I have created one notification parameter P import request ID. For that, I have mapped, the integration flow and use this notification parameter within the notification body followed by flower based brackets. And I have attachment, whichever to and from values are there, I have get it from lookups. The way integration has been run. So you need to provide these steps starting to ending very spoon feeding. Then the interviewer will go from out of topic again. Hope you are getting.
Yes, Vijay.
You need to provide the response and the request very spoon feeding. Then only they will understand, yes, you have an experience. Do not give an answer something too key in 1 word, 2 words. You need to, for a cinema, we are preparing a script, right? Whenever they are trying to, launching for a new movie, first your director will come with a complete script, right? Bundle of book to the hero and the team. The same way here also, you need to showcase everything. The complete script. You need to write the complete script in your notes or notepad plus. At least 10 to 12 days you need to habituate to read that flow. Then only you will get that. Do not give something whichever minds whichever answer will come in your minds. Do not give the answer. You will lose the opportunity. You will get 1 or 2 opportunities in that you need to prove. Now the market is very good. For the OIC skill set, they will provide, I'm literally saying, my friend, he is having 5 years experience. He knows only voice, that's it. He don't know anything, even the fusion technical also don't know. Now he is getting 38 lakhs per annum in our India. Assume how the demand is there for OIC. 38 LPA. Does it low figure, high figure? Guys?
Much more, Vijay.
It's very high figure, right?
Yeah.
Assume then how the demand is there for OIC. Okay. And think there is no coding. We have very less coding. When you compare with on-premise, our fusion technical easy or complex? Guys?
Yes, Vijay.
It's easy, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the same way you need to provide the FBDI answer as well. For FBDI, again, selected ERP cloud adapter and select the second option, import bulk options. There I have selected import journals. Can anyone let me know when you select ERP cloud adapter in the invoke section, where you will see the invoke section? App-driven orchestration or in your schedule orchestrations, the invokes?
Schedule orchestration.
Great. So what are the options you will get for Oracle ERP cloud adapter in an invoke section? What are the features you will get? For invoke section, already just we have discussed, right?
Yeah, I think for invoke, one is to call the web services. Second one is to do bulk loading using FBDI.
Yep.
And there is a third one also related to some Groovy script.
Something UCM, sending files to the UCM. Whenever you select the ERP cloud adapter connection in invoke section, you will get 3 features. First one is query, create, update, nothing but to find all Fusion application, web service and REST APIs. The second option, you will get all the FBDA processes. Third option, send files to ERP cloud. I never used the third option in my experience, send files to ERP cloud, but I have used the first 2. Straight away, you need to provide the answer like this. Okay. And the same, what are the options you will get for a trigger for ERP cloud adapter connection? Trigger. So you will get again 3 options. One is, receive the callback events for your everyday processes and receive the business events callbacks and receive the event from Groovy script techniques. So have you ever used app-driven orchestration? Have you ever used trigger configuration of ERP cloud adapter in your experience? Have you ever used trigger configuration of ERP cloud adapter in your experience? You're getting my question?
No, Vijay. I mean, the answer is no.
Why? We have used, right?
We have used it for the FBDI process where we have submitted the jobs and we are using it for callback.
Exactly. For the callback integration, we have created app-driven orchestration. For an app-driven orchestration, we need to define triggering starting point and ending point. The starting point is nothing but we need to receive the event information, right? For that, use Oracle ERP Cloud Adapter connection. There we have selected the second option, receive the callback event information for everyday process and selected the import journals. So what are the information you will get as a response? For that, for everyday process, we have selected, right? So what are the response you will get? You will get all the response, nothing but the complete ESA job details, includes parent and child status, job name, job path, and all the log files you will get. Based on the status, you may send the email notification to the users. This is callback integration. The interviewer will ask, have you ever used a callback integration for your integration? What is the significance of callback? If you want to use a callback integration, what are the prerequisites you need to take care in your main integration? So what are the main integration prerequisite? Anyone?
In order
We have
to do
to enable.
callback, we need to prepare the app-driven orchestration.
No.
In the main integration, we have to enable callback
Yes.
option.
That is the first step. The second one, you need to write the data into .properties file. So what does contain properties file? What does contain the properties file?
It contains the ESS job.
All your main import information, ESA job information, job package, job path, and followed by the parameters. So when you submit integration automatically along with your load interface file for import, your main import will be submitted and immediately your callback integration will be filed. So how your callback integration will be triggered? What happens in the background? There is a standard ESS job upload interface management. It is sending the information again back to the OIC with the help of SOVA Composer security. In our Fusion application, SOVA Composer to navigate to SOVA Composer and the manage security, add your OIC service instance and followed by domain name and followed by username and password of OIC application. The way your event information again back to your OIC and your app-driven orchestration will be triggered. Okay, so this story you need to provide to the interviewer. Hope it's clear.
Yes, Vijay.
Okay, so what is the payload of limitation when you're reading the data or when you're writing the data? Nothing but you will get the 10 MB data. When you use the read file operation, it will support only 10 MB data to read. If you exceed, you will get a payload threshold error. In order to avoid that, you need to use read file in segments. It will try to read the data from file 200 records as a set. It's not possible to change the figure of 200 number. Okay, it's a set by already Oracle set as a default 200. It is maintained by Oracle itself. It's not, there is no provision to change this value. So if you have 500 records in your file, every 200 records it will be read, nothing but it will create internal loop for us. It will keep on read the data until data will complete by using read file in segments. Whereas write operation, again write also, it's not possible to write the data greater than 10 MB at a time into the file. You need to repeat the data. If you have greater than 10 MB data, you need to repeat the data in a loop. Always you need to append the data. While writing the data, there is a checkbox available, append to existing file. If you have 10,000 records, for example, you are writing 2,000 records as a set. You need to iterate 5 times in the same file by using write file operation. So that you will, all the data in your respective file. So this is, payload limitation or the volume limitation. So in your experience, how much volume of data have been received? Let's you can explain. I have received something 50,000, 60,000 records like that. Or something I am getting for journal something 2,000, 3,000 records like that. Okay. So how you are handle exceptions in your integration? Exceptions.
We will use the scope.
Using scope.
Okay.
And
In order to handle the exception, we will use the scope. So I have used the scope wherever is required, and the scope, each scope does have the default handler. There we need to handle the exception. So how you have handled the exception, the default handler? Do not say as a logger. I have written the data into one of the file in each default handler. At the last, I have sent this file to the respective user as attachment. Wherever default handler is there, you need to use only one file, write file operation, and keep on write your error data. Okay. And if you are not handle the exception, where the exception will goes? If you are not handle any exceptions, if you are not used any scopes within the integration, so if there is an error, where the error will goes? The error will goes to the global fault. Okay, that is global exception. Again, there you need to handle the exception how you want to be handled. So if you are not handling the exception, your integration status overall states in error status. When you use the scope, even though it is error, the integration state and success status. Exactly the significance of the scope, why you are using the scope exactly in your integration. In order to exceptions, right? Apart from that, why you are using the scope? Only for exceptions, or do we have any other reason to use the scope? Team? Anyone? Any case, any approach?
Yeah, it
In order
will
to
make
continue the flow, we will use the.
Exactly. In order to continue the next flow, you need to use the scope. If any errors are there within the scope, it will handle the exception and it will move to the next flow. It won't stop the integration. Okay. Always you need to use the scope, piece of the scopes wherever is required. Okay. So this is about something, and so already we have tested app-driven orchestration for receipt API. That is also you need to provide, ready with a script. What are the inputs you are getting, so on so for receipt, and the customizations. What are the customizations if you have been done in your experience? The way you will get a question. I never customized anything in the SaaS application as it is very limited. I did not get any opportunity, but I have worked on the customization part, which is adding the BIP report, adding the dashboard into Fusion application home screen by using Sandbox. Immediately they will raise the question, how will you add a BIP report onto your home screen? Can anyone tell? How will you add a BIP report on my home screen? Fusion application, Springboard or Navigator board, how will you enable a BIP report? You need to create a sandbox and use the tools, structures, and pages. Create a main menu entry in the structure. And again, a menu entry, you need to create a page. For that page, you need to add BIP report URL. So I will generate the URL, execute the report, BIP report from the catalog screen. There a share report link is there. Current page current page URL you need to generate, and do not enter any parameter values. And copy paste that URL into your pages and publish the changes to the users across the environment, so that the Fusion application, home screen, the navigator board, and Springboard, you may have this BAP report access. Similarly, you may add the same dashboard as well. Mostly I have used the dashboard for each module. I have used in my experience procurement dashboard. These procurement dashboard can contain our procurement dashboard prompts and analysis, and followed by BAP reports as well. These BAP reports I have used followed by action links. Okay, the way the dashboard can contain all respective PO related OTBA content and BAP content. So this is I have been worked in my experience. Apart from that, do not accept anything which I have been worked. Okay, it's very complex to satisfy to the interviewer. Okay. So this is about and FRS report. If you get any FRS report question, yes, I have worked on FRS report. I've never worked, I did not get any real-time opportunity to work on FRS report, but I have a bit knowledge exactly how it works, how the data will transfer to the cubes. There is an ESA job is there, transfer general ledger balances the cube, and it is integrated with this Hyperion tool. It is a 3-dimensional database system. And from the general ledger application, inquire, analyze balances. There we will find all the cubes along with the balance actual and period. Along with that, we do have chart of account segment cubes are available. So there we need to verify whether the data is available or not. If the data is available, same we will connect to the Hyperion tool from FRS reporting center, and there we need to develop the report. There is a grid is available. Within the grid, first we need to create a database connection, and so that it will enable all the cubes against the ledger and select the respective ledger rows and columns and select the respective accounting periods and accounting segments, whichever is we required, so the data will be available. But I never get an opportunity to work with the real time. But I know the process how to develop. Okay, the way you can satisfy. Do not say, I don't know FRS report. Again, impress will be very bad. Hope getting?
Yes.
Okay. That's it from my end. I'm almost done with all the things, whichever I have. Okay. And all the documents are available in your G Drive, whichever you require, just you can use the same HDL and everything. And if you get an opportunity to use an application, if you have any doubts, feel free to reach out to me, and you can post a question within the WhatsApp, or you have my email ID, right? vijay.techfusion@gmail.com, and you can send an email. Mostly Saturday, Sunday, I will reply your emails if you have any questions and any queries. But mostly, you can send in a WhatsApp group. We have Fusion Technical Expertise group is there, right? Just you can post your question. Immediately, I will, respond for that. At least I will give you a hint so that you can move further ahead. Thanks to everyone. Thanks for your patience, and wish you all the best for your bright future.
Thanks, Vijay. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Vijay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Vijay.
Thank you. So
Vijay,
still, if you have any questions, and still if you are this something wrong, something if you need more knowledge on the OIC, still you may continue with the next batch. Okay, since you have 1 year subscription, if you have time, you can continue the next batch as well. Okay, so that you may cover.
sure, Vijay. Vijay,
Yeah.
just a small question, like
Yeah.
during the interview, just like say like the FRS report, we need to say like yeah, we have bit knowledge.
Yes.
We are not working.
Yes.
So like this part, like how many topics we need to say like during the interview, like
FRS.
only FRS.
Only
Okay.
FRS. Yes, that is complete new topic for technical people.
Okay.
And very less scenarios we will get an opportunity to work on FRS. The reason I am saying.
Okay.
Okay. The rest of things, at least you need to ready with a script, at least 2 to 3 objects.
Yeah.
With a complete script.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Especially OIC starting to ending flow you need to provide.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks to everyone. Wish you all the best for your bright future.
And hello, Vijay.
Yeah, Hemant.
Do you have two more minutes?
No, today onwards, we have done with our training.
Just a small question.
Yeah.
Which companies are looking for OIC like
all the companies now looking for OIC.
Okay.
All the companies.
Okay.
Since this year onwards, all the companies are expecting, all the clients are expecting, OIC skill set.
Okay.
Without OIC skill set, there is no Fusion technical profile. Nowadays.
And one more thing, Vijay, whenever I just browsing for the Fusion technical jobs, I can see like only more and more on functional part. There is no specification regarding this technical
No, you
consultant.
will get the technical as well.
Oh,
We are
okay.
getting n number of calls every day for Fusion technical.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, do not think like that. Okay, you will get a number of calls. So how many calls you need? At least 2 to 3, right?
Yes.
Yeah. In 2 to 3, need to prove yourself. Do
Got
not
it.
expect 10 calls, 12 calls, 30 calls like that. Just
Okay.
expect, 2 to 3. And in the 2 to 3, you need to prove yourself. That's it.
Got it, Vijay.
Okay.
Vijay.
Okay. Still, if you not get an opportunity, if you are have the good skill set, if you are thoroughly prepared everything, just share profile to me. I will provide 2 to 3 opportunities to you.
Sure. Definitely. Thank you. Thanks a lot, Vijay.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
No problem.
Yeah, Vijay.
Yeah, Sheikh.
Vijay, one question is that in the OIC, the topics will that there would be a requirement for the VBCS and PCS?
No, there is no VBCS, PCS. So whichever VBCS I said, again, for the VBCS, if you get any question, I don't have any opportunity to work with the VBCS again, but I know how to perform a CRUD operations.
Okay.
That is, we have seen, right?
Yeah. No, we have
how to perform a CRUD operations, I know, and how to use the REST APIs, standard REST APIs, I know. If you provide an opportunity, I will learn myself and I will do the things.
Yeah. So if I write on my profile that I have an OIC experience, so I should expect questions from the VBCS and PCS?
No, you cannot. Just they will ask you, you have knowledge for VBCS, PCS.
Okay.
You have knowledge or not, that's it.
And DBSS?
PCS, you never said I don't have anything. Okay.
And DBSS? Sorry? DBSS?
DBAS.
DBAS, sorry.
DBAS also you said I never worked on the DBAS.
Okay.
The moment if I explain the DBAS integration, you never understand. Since you never practice whichever we have covered, right? The voice integrations. If I go for the DBCS integration, it will go for 4 to 5 days for the DBCS integration. Earlier, I have covered all the batches for DBCS integration, 5 hours. Since last 3 batches, I am not covering this DBCS integration since nobody is understanding. If I ask the write operation, if I ask the read operation, what it is, no one is saying. The reason I'm excluded the DBCS integration from the training.
Yeah, no issues with that.
Okay. First, you need to practice this everyday process and web service integration. That is more enough in this stage for you.
And what would be the interviewer questions from the HCM data loader side?
Data loader side, you will get, what is the intermediate table? There is a HR's integration table, right? The HR's integration mapper table is there, right?
Yes.
That is intermediate table. And these, what are the business entities you have been loaded? Mostly I have loaded jobs, locations, and these departments. And I have used, spreadsheet data loader. And how will import the data of bulk import data to a spreadsheet loader is nothing but I have created the customized spreadsheet, whichever columns or attributes are required. And this is in CSV format. By using SQL statement, extracting the data from on-premise system and copy paste the data into CSV file and importing this file to my main ADF DA sheet for the respective job business entity. And from the Excel sheet itself, the ESH job can be submitted, and within the Fusion application, the data exchange, my client group data exchange, import and load data, there I can see the status, the load status and import status. They will ask immediately what is the load status, what is import status. Load status will verify the syntax issues. Import status will verify your prerequisite values, whether it is available or not. If it is 100%, your data in your base tables. Always it will support the partial import data. Okay.
Yeah.
Something you will get the question like this.
Okay.
Okay. So if you want